everybody, welcome back. I did a video a little over a month ago about the housing market and if I thought it was going to crash. And I did say that it was going to crash relatively soon and provided a lot of data as to why I believe it's going to crash soon. But I also wanted to be careful and clarify that just because the overall housing market crashes doesn't mean every single city in every single state will crash. So back in 2006, when some of the major states like California, Arizona, Nevada, Florida, Texas started crashing, or states that had a large number of subprime mortgages, not every state started to crash. That's why a lot of people will say, oh, the housing market crash started in 2008. Well, for most of the country, like larger states, it started in 2006. Here's the US average. It didn't start until like early 2007. And the reason I think people say 2008 is because that's when they came out with the $8,000 credit to purchase a home. They were trying to save the housing market after it had already started crashing. And I believe the stock market also crashed in 2008. So that's why people say 2008 usually. Anyways, long story short, not every state crashed. For example, if you lived in Wyoming and you watched my video and you're preparing for a housing market crash, my video wouldn't have been accurate back in 2006. If I would have said, hey, there's a crash coming, you would have been waiting a long time. 2012 was the bottom of, they had a mini crash from 2010 to 2012. Looks like it dropped about 4,000 or 5,000, which isn't too much, relatively speaking, on a $200,000 house. And then it looks like it shortly recovered and has just been going up and up and up. So that's why it's important to know your city. Another one that's kind of interesting is Alaska. It looks like, they've kind of been all over the place, but it looks like they've already started to crash. January 2020, looks like they've kind of been dropping. New Jersey's another interesting state because they doesn't look like they actually fully recovered. They still haven't reached their 2006 peak. This is after the $8,000 credit left. And then you can see here it's slowly up to 421,000. But this only goes till August 2020, so it's, September 2021. So it might have recovered back to the numbers of 2006, but the point is that it took them 15 years to get to where they were previously. So most of the country, it looks like, from 2007 down to 2012, it was about a 5-year crash. So let's just say you're sitting on the sidelines saying, hey, I want to buy a house, but I'm waiting for the next housing market crash. Might not be the best decision to wait or, put your life on hold for 5 years. If you want a house, I think you should buy a house. I actually bought a house earlier this year, even though I knew the housing market was going to crash. My plan is to just buy a modest home that I can easily afford. And when the housing market does crash, then that's when I start investing in real estate, for rentals, or maybe even buy my dream home. I wouldn't put your life on hold. I would definitely start saving money. Try to save as much as you possibly can. And I'll do another video on what I would do based on what your age range is and what I would be doing to prepare for the housing market crash. So stay tuned. That'll probably be in a week or so. But even if the housing market does start to crash in 2021, let's just say this month, let's just say it starts to crash, you're probably still going to have to wait at least a year or two before it makes sense to even, get in the game. Or, if you're fine, getting in, like look here, 2008, for example, if you were in Atlantic City, you bought a house 300,000, and in 2008 you're down to 250,000. If you're like, hey, look, I can afford a house now, finally, I want to get in the game, that's up to you. That's why I think it's important to know your city, your state, and also your own personal family's goals, finances, what you're looking to do. I will have this link in the description so you can look at your city or your state and just kind of play around. Thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you found it informative, and if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, and subscribing if you want more videos like this.